So I know I've been promising this video for a really, really long time, and I'm embarrassed about it that I haven't done it yet, but guess what we're going to do tonight? We are doing Brujo Ryan's Ultimate Tarot and Oracle card review with the cards that I use, that I love. I'm going to introduce every single one of these decks to you and show you a little bit of the inside. Stay tuned. So my first choice, first pick on a tarot or oracle deck is the Robin Wood Tarot. Don't worry everybody, I am going to be putting a link to the Amazon product for all of these cards in the order. The tarot decks that I like to use all have the traditional images used, like the Rider-Waite tarot deck. So all of the major and minor arcana are pictorial. And I really love the colors that Robin Wood uses in her deck. She has an accompanying book that you can purchase separately, and it's a thick book too, talking about her deck and all the juicy little tidbits of all of the detail that went into this deck and what everything means. But I just want you to take a look at some of these beautiful images. What I like the most about the Robin Wood deck is there's a lot of stuff going on visually, but there's no like Kabbalistic or alchemy or astrological symbols or signs put in there. It's very much a pagan deck. It was drawn with a Wiccan or a witch's standpoint, from a witch's standpoint. So you don't get anything other than just regular images of individuals, and it kind of has a little bit of a Celtic bent towards it, or more English traditional witchcraft and stuff like that. But I love the faces. I love the faces because the expressions, the facial expressions of the characters on these cards are priceless. And she just captured the essence of the card in almost every single card. She's like on a 95% success rate on accurate interpretation of the energies that come out of these cards. The Wheel of Fortune. I'm showing off my favorites to you guys. I'm showing off the cards that I find to be my favorite cards in the deck. The Eight of Cups. That's a beautiful strength card. That's my favorite strength card out of all the strength cards. The Three of Cups, Faith, Hope, and Charity. The High Priestess. The Witch. The Witch. Death is a beautiful card. The Lovers. Yin and Yang. The Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine. Judgment. I also love that the cards have nude characters on them, the way they should be. This is the Ace of Wands, or my fertility card, and as you can see, why it's very phallic in imagery. The Devil card. The Happy Family card. I like to pretend that's me. Three of Swords, the Star, the Seven of Swords. Look at that greasy motherfucker right there. Yeah, that's why I love this image of someone who is hiding things, or someone who's being dishonest, up to no good. And my absolute favorite card, my favorite magician card of all time, the Robin Wood Magician. My next favorite deck is the Wildwood deck. Wildwood. The images that are in the Wildwood deck are very clear and crisp and sharp, and also there's this amazing level of detail if you really pay attention to the deck. And I think what I love about this deck more than anything is the colors. I'm absolutely wild about all of the greens and blues that are in this deck because, well, green is my favorite color. The Great Bear, the invitation from the ancestor to enter the ancestral space. The Shaman. And once again, as you can see, the faces on these characters are just very, very, very vivid. It's easy to get into the mind of the individuals that you're looking at on the cards. This is the protection card. Once again, I'm showing you guys my favorite cards. So we have a green man card and we have a green woman card that we'll come to. And I really, really love everything about the Celtic mythos that fuels and powers this deck, which in this particular deck, the Wildwood deck, has an excellent accompanying manual. Really, really super deep, talking about how this deck goes off the Wheel of the Year. The boxing hares, I love that for conflict. The Forest Lovers. What did the fox say? I also love the detail given to the heron. So all of the court cards are animals. The ancestor. There's the green woman, Gaia. And the journey card. Very haunting, very beautiful. 3 of arrows, very haunting, very poignant. The 3 of vessels. The 3 of vessels is one of my most favorite cards in this particular deck. The star or the pole star. The hare. Tradition. The hawk. This is my favorite card in the entire deck, the 4 of arrows. I just love the 4 of arrows, the rest card, and this beautiful butterfly that is on this card. I would have this on my wall if I could get like this really blown up, because I really love the 4 of arrows. And the balance card. My third favorite deck of all time is the Tarot of Trees. So these cards are actually very small. They used to not be small. I don't know why they're small now. I had to reorder them, because I had these cards for a very, very long time. I wore them out, I lost them, and then I reordered them, and they showed up, and they're small. But that's okay. I actually use the Tarot of Trees app on my phone, because you can get it on iPhone and you can get it on Droid through the Google Play Store. But the Fool, these cards are so small, I don't know if you're going to be able to see all of the detail, but the Magician, the High Priestess. I love this strength card of the tree that's growing up the side of a mountain. The Death card. The Tower. They've got a great Tower card. The Moon. The Sun. The World. I love the World card, and I think that the World card is my favorite out of the entire deck. And then, as far as the small minor arcana is concerned, there's a tree that's in every single one. 10 of Cups. 3 of Swords. 9 of Pentacles. My next favorite deck is the Mushroom Hunter Tarot deck. And I haven't been able to start utilizing this deck like I want to, but I just love it. So as you can see, all of these cards are going to have a mushroom on a mushroom on them, except for the court cards. These are some of the good ones. So like here's a Queen of Pentacles. Love her. I think that's beautiful. There's a Page of Pentacles with a little pig. Seems like it's me. That looks like me when I was a kid. So we have the coins. If you can hear the guy that's above me, my neighbor, he gets all excited sometimes at night talking to whoever it is he talks to, and he gets all loud. So if you hear him in the background, he's up there having a good old time. Got the Ten of Swords. I love this Ten of Swords. There's something about this Ten of Swords that makes me like physically ill. Makes me feel nauseous. It makes me feel frightened. This is a frightening card. The Knight of Cups. What is this? This is the Three of Cups. I love that card. The King of Wands. Page of Wands. The World card. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love the World card. The Temperance card has got some beautiful, vibrant colors. The Wheel of Fortune. The Lovers. The Hierophant. The Emperor. The High Priestess. So I absolutely love the colors and the images and the art on this particular deck. The next deck that I love is the Herbal Tarot. Now I know there are several different Herbal Tarots out there, but this is one of the Herbal Tarot decks. So once again, it's those colors that pop for me. It's the blues and the greens and the blacks and the reds that pop for me. But what's really, really great about this deck is it does follow the traditional Rider-Waite imagery, but it will have an herb like skullcap on every single card. And what's beautiful is that it actually shows you the plant. So if you're like trying to learn about your herbs and you're also trying to learn about plant identification, this particular deck is just fantastic for that. Kelp, the Suspended Person. And even though there's a tiny little manual that comes along with this particular deck, the deck is invaluable because not only does it give you the occult meaning of the tarot card, that one's basil, but it also tells you about the medicinal properties of each herb. So there you have St. John's wort, elderflower, golden seal. Now there's only one beef that I have with this particular deck. Garlic. I love garlic. I love this tower card. I only have one beef with this particular deck, and we're getting to it. The Lovers. Parsley. It's this card. There's a Three of Swords for you. Pleurisy root. But my biggest problem with this deck is the marijuana card. Because that's not the name of the plant. That the term marijuana was used in a derogatory way. And the name of this particular plant is called cannabis. That's the name of the plant, cannabis. And I can't for the life of me understand why the artist, being seemingly an incredibly intelligent person, and the person that put the deck together to be incredibly intelligent people, how they could be so ignorant in putting marijuana as the name for the cannabis plant on their cards. It bothers me. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to not use the deck just because this pejorative term towards the plant that should be respected. But that's just that. I just had to tell you my beef with this particular deck, and it's really, out of all of these decks, the only card that I have beef with. So that's not bad. The next deck that we're going to be looking at is the Midnight Magic Tarot. So once again, if you're looking for a deck that's going to help you learn how to identify things, herbs, mushrooms, this Midnight Magic deck is just absolutely phenomenal. And oh, the Hierophant. There's so many cards, I'm just going to flip through them. I'm just going to show you. This is Turkey Tail, Corpse Finder, Judgment. I'm just going to show you these cards and show you how brilliant they are. And if you love mushrooms as much as I do, there's not a lot of convincing that you're going to need to get this deck. But as you can see, not only does it have the name of the mushroom, but it has its Latin name also. I mean, this deck is just absolutely off the chart. Off the chart. King of Pentacles. King of Swords. Five of Swords. I picked out of the deck my favorite cards that I wanted to show you. The Devil. The Lobster Mushroom. Little Birds of the Woods. The Magician. I like the Magician card. The Empress card. Hen of the Woods. The Lovers. Caesar's Mushroom. Which one is that? Inkstain. Bolette. These are great cards. I love them so much. The Six of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups. I believe the Ten of Cups is my favorite. Ten of Cups is my favorite card. I love the rainbow. Ten of Pentacles is a great card also. Two of my favorite cards, Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles. Great cards. Chicken of the Wood. The High Priestess. Death. The Knight of Cups. I highly recommend this deck if you like mushrooms. And the last tarot deck I'm going to review and show you is going to be the Zombie Tarot. And then we're going to get to playing cards and oracle cards. So the Fool card is one of my favorite cards. It has this gentleman getting ready to go on a little picnic with zombie hands starting to come out of graves. This is such a tongue-in-cheek kind of deck. The images are totally bizarre and very popish and like very 1950s nuclear family kind of Ozzie and Harriet kind of time period. This is a really, I love this. The Wheel of Fortune is really fucked up. I don't know why that makes me feel like, ooh, creepy. But the Lovers. But as you can see, it's very pop culture. It has a very particular theme, which is the apocalyptic theme. Kind of like zombie movie theme. The Three of Swords. If you're someone that likes seeing like visual depictions of organs and things and zombies and catastrophe movies, then this is totally a deck for you. It's very, very deep. I love the World card. It's just the earth burning, you know, with the lovers coming together underground in their little bunker, you know. And I absolutely love the High Priestess card. The High Priestess, what I'm going to associate with voodoo. That's a voodoo card. Of course, it is very, 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 you know, it's a very whitewashed image of voodoo, but actually, you know what, I love it very much. I'm not mad about it. The Five of Cups, the lady sobbing in the graveyard, that's a very, very great card. The Death card. There's a lot of military play. Lots of guns, lots of swords, knives and daggers. The Star card, that's a very interesting interpretation of the Star card. The Eight of Swords. The Queen of Cups. Pinup zombie. Judgment. That's scary as fuck. Little old lady with the gun. The Emperor, the hero, the mad scientist, the magician. And my favorite card is the Devil card in the Zombie Tarot because it shows an old school cigarette machine. The kids wouldn't know what that is today. But the old school cigarette machine that says Vice on it, that is my absolute favorite Devil card ever. So real quick, we're going to talk about playing cards because, you know, most people that practice traditional witchcraft or folk magic, they just use playing cards, just a regular pack of playing cards. And this is just a bicycle deck of playing cards. I got one that had like, each suit had a different color. But one of the things I was trying to do when I was starting to teach myself how to read playing cards is I took a magic marker and I just started writing down on the card itself what my interpretations are for it. And there's nothing that says that you can't do that. Nothing that says, no one can tell you that you can't grab a magic marker and just go ahead and write down your own interpretations for your cards. Happy ancestors, good fortune. Yeah, getting out of balance. Go back to school. So this is my bicycle playing cards that have my interpretations written all over them. But after I graduated from those, I like to use the Fae bicycle cards, the Fae playing cards, the bicycle Fae. These are just your regular old bicycle playing cards, but they've got really great Celtic symbolism, symbols, patterns, designs. And the really cute part of these court cards is you've got like the little goblin and the leprechaun, the fairy queen. I love the cat. The Queen of Clubs, the cat, is one of my favorites. The king, the jack. And my favorite card in the Bicycle Fae is the Jack of Diamonds, which looks like that devious red-headed fairy boy. And because a lot of traditional practitioners do use playing cards, there's a gentleman named Jake Richards who had his Conjure Cards published. He practices Appalachian folk magic, and so this particular deck is like a regular deck of playing cards, bicycle cards, but slightly different. I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't had the time really to explore and go into depth with this particular deck of oracle cards. I'm going to. I have every mind to get deep into the book and deep into these cards to try to understand exactly what the symbols that are used on the cards are. I have these cards. I love the way they look. I love the way they feel in my hands. I think the images that are on the card. There's a joker. I think there's two jokers in here. I love that. I love the 10 of Diamonds. But to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you the truth. I do not know exactly what the interpretations of these cards are. But I love the way they look. I love the way they feel. I had to have them. That's why I have them. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to be learning how to use these, learning how to read these. But I had to show you because I think they're fucking awesome. All right, moving on to oracle cards, but this is actually more than just an oracle, okay? These are my Rune cards and my Ogham oracle. This is the Celtic tree oracle of the Celts, okay? the Druids, and then we have the runes, which is the Norse or the northern tradition. So these are two different systems of divination in paper form or in card form. Ancient tree wisdom. In ancient times, the Celts lived in the forest of northern Europe. They shared their life with animals, plants, flowers, mountains, and rivers. They can feel the whole earth breathing. They're connected to the highest skill and the highest sky and the deepest ground. The Druids were the wisest among the Celts, and they invented a special alphabet called Ogham. And what's really, really great about learning how to... usually I'll pick one card or maybe two cards because I am not a master of any system. I know how to navigate myself through any divination system. But what I really love is that they have the symbol of the alphabet. They have the Rune. And they also have protection, expression, connection. So like you don't necessarily have to know the tree alphabet, okay, the Ogham, to be able to use these cards, because you will actually have definitions given to you on the actual cards. But it's a great way to understand the tree and understand the symbol and the meaning. And it's the same thing with the rune cards. And it's the same thing with the rune cards because they actually give you a really, really long definition for what every rune means. Protection, a shield, the protective urge to shelter yourself, ward off evil. Whoops. So all of these rune cards are awesome. They're the runes, and I know what somebody will say. I know somebody who wants to be a real jerk will be like, well, you can't use those. You have to use runes. You have to consecrate them with your own blood. Fuck those people. If a system of divination works for you and you like the way that system of divination is working for you, then by all means, people, stick to the way you divine, because your spirits are never wrong and your spirits have led you to a particular deck for some kind of reason. Okay? If my European ancestor brought me to this particular deck because they thought it was the best way for me to learn and understand how to read the runes, then so it be it. Okay, don't judge other people just because you don't like the fact that they use cards instead of sticks or bone or something else. Moving on to my favorite oracle decks. We're in the home stretch, everybody. This is the Halloween Oracle. Trick or treat. I absolutely love the Halloween Oracle. I love the images on these cards. Eternal love. Love is love is love. I love the images that are on the Halloween Oracle. They're very vivid, they pop. And also I really like the interpretations that the artist gives for her cards. There's the Death card. The Death card is my favorite card. That is just absolutely wicked awesome right there. Then you have the Cauldron. I love this card, the Ancestors card. The love and the legacy of our DNA. Remember, everybody, your DNA is a link. It's a chain that binds you to everyone who's ever come before you and everybody who's ever going to come after you. Scrying. The spider. Jack-o'-lantern. Zombie, zombie, zombie. The underworld. The Mortos. Night Song. There's 4 particular cards in this deck that I absolutely love. The Skull of Stars. The Skull of Light. The Skull of Darkness. And the Skull of Flowers. So now we're going to be looking at the illustrated Crystalary, which is my oracle deck that has to do with crystals. This is an oracle deck that really pops. A different kind of love, rose quartz, emerald. So I'm so attracted to all these visually exciting colors, these colors that really pop. Oh, I love the moonstone. All of these colors really, really, really pop. Amethyst. Amolite. Turquoise. If you look very closely, you can see that the two birds, the eggs and the sun, actually make a yin and yang symbol. Find your way home. I also like that at the top of the oracle, it gives you the meaning of the card. Be soft and listen. Blue topaz. I think the blue topaz is my favorite card. Behind the moonstone card. Green fluorite. Is this mine? Carnelian. Get curious. Sugarlight. Feel in order to know. Garnet. Labradorite. Recharge your destiny. So I like to pull oracle cards when I'm pulling tarot cards. I'll always pull an oracle card or two along with doing a tarot spread, just so that I feel like I'm getting extra information or more clarity on what the meaning of my reading is, because they are awesome sauce. And now we're on to what we call the Hedgewitch's Field Guide, which has a really lovely large book that comes along with these cards that are about the size of a pack of playing cards or small tarot cards. This particular deck is beautiful yet simple. Plantain. As you can see, once again, it's just the plant. Just the plant. With nourish underneath it that gives you a concept or idea about what the plant is good for on the spiritual. Marshmallow for adversity. And so if you're a plant lover, nettle. If you're a plant lover or an herb lover or an essential oil lover, sage. Dandelion is for humility. If you're an herb lover and a plant lover and you want to look at, or you're trying to identify plants, once again, this is one of those decks. And as you can see, guys, most all of my decks that I have, both tarot and oracle cards, have a lot to do with plants and herbs and mushrooms and stuff. My next favorite oracle deck is called the Herbal Apothecary Oracle deck. What I love about this deck is, well, this deck is a little bit more complex when it comes to herbs and plants. Blue lotus. Does have mushrooms in it. Reishi. There you go. That's a good cannabis card right there. Detachment. Cannabis is good for detachment, detaching from the physical body. Isn't that fantastic? Ginseng. Lion's mane. Tulsi. What's awesome about the Herbal Apothecary deck is it does bring in other cultures, so it's very cross-cultural, because Tulsi is a very, very important herb in Hinduism and to people in India. Dragon's blood. Tobacco, which is the most sacred plant of the Americas. She has Mama Ayahuasca. Rebirth. Sage. Arnica. I love that mandrake. psilocybin, communing with the fairies, fae folk. Rue, protection. Chamomile, for inner peace. I think chamomile is my favorite card out of all the cards. Yarrow. Poppy. Dandelion. Oh yeah, then there's Palo Santo. She's got Palo Santo, Palo d'Arco. These aren't all the cards. I'm just showing you my favorite cards. This is a great deck, and actually, because I'm just trying to show people just briefly what the cards look like, I'm not going to go into the backstory on this. You guys have to get the deck to learn about it. Oh, and of course, Rosemary. So now we're moving on to the Green Witch Oracle. What's great about the Green Witch Oracle is there's fruits and vegetables in this oracle, which I love. Like we had apple. These are just some of my favorite cards. There you go. You got broccoli, dahlia. So we've got flowers, figs for vitality, and then the little snake. I love that. I love the pumpkin for productivity, longevity, chrysanthemum, tomatoes, stock, black mulberries, the pink rose, bananas, chili, fennel, purification. This particular, I love the corn. This particular oracle deck has got a lot of great information in the booklet, and the booklet is very, very, very explains everything beautifully, along with these cards. Yep. I love this deck. And now we have the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Here's just a few of the cards that I like. The Circle. So one thing that is interesting about this particular deck, the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, is it definitely has a much more indigenous native feel to it. The colors on the cards really, really, really pop, especially when they're new. The Jaguar, my favorite card, the Medicine Wheel. So a lot of the myth that goes into this particular deck is indigenous and also, I believe, Andean, because Pachamama is in here. So I think we're talking about Peruvian. We're talking about the Andean indigenous persons, myths, the coyote, completion, the middle world, beauty, way. You could get lost in these cards for days, just meditating on one image after another. The Andean cross, crow. I'm having a hard time deciding which of these cards is my favorite card. This is the Mystical Shaman. The Moon card. Smoky Mirror. Corn, a staple part of the diet. The Journey. The Tree of Life. The Luminous Warrior. The Serpent. And now we have the Witch Oracle, but it's the Halloween version. And this is a really, really beautiful deck. It's very dark. The artwork is very dark and mysterious. Reflection. Silence. The Witch. I find that a lot of these images are really, really great for meditation. Intuition. You hold the answers, you know the truths. Ancient ones await behind the doors of the mind. Ritual. Graveyard. Altar. Cauldron. Protection. Spirit guides. Elements. Ancestors. The third harvest. Candle magic. Elders. Divination. Nature. Spirits. So this particular deck is really, really awesome if you are a witch and into witchy things and into dark things, but are just kind of like looking for archetypes rather than like a specific, particular culture. This is very, very European though. And I actually want to give a real honorable mention to a deck of cards that I love that I have, but I don't use. One of the reasons why I don't use this deck more often is because the cards are very, very large and it's difficult to shuffle them up. It is a tarot deck and it's called the Ghetto Tarot. And it was done by this amazing artist, person of color. And all of the images that are on this particular deck of the Ghetto Tarot, everyone here is black, which is awesome sauce because you don't see people of color represented in the occult, and in tarot very much, if not at all. And this actually has got a very like African culture, but it's more like Creole. Could have been shot like in Georgia or in Louisiana or even in Haiti. The Lovers, the Ace of Machetes. So there's a very, very, very spiritualist feel to this particular deck. Voodoo, Palo, what is that? The Six of Brooms, Strength, the Fool, the High Priestess. So it's photography, Page of Brooms. I think that's why it's difficult for me to try to divine with this. Like this is the Judgment card, I love it. It's very difficult for me to divine with this deck because of the fact that it's pictures of people, living people. That's the primary reason why it's difficult for me to use. It's like I want to sit and I want to admire these pictures and meditate on them. Great deck for meditation. Great vibe, great energy to this deck, just not possible for me to use for divination purposes. The Star is a beautiful card. Beautiful. And I love this Nine of Swords. The Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Brooms. Broom Fire. Queen of Brooms. 7 or 8 of Brooms, whichever one that is. One thing is that when you're looking at the deck, you're not seeing anything except the actual picture on the card. The 10 of Cups. So I really, 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 the 4 of Swords. I really, really love this deck. It's a beautiful deck. 2 of Cups. And I wanted to give that as my honorable mention. The Devil card. All right, everybody. Well, that was my review and just showing you my favorite decks of cards. I hoped you liked it. I hoped you liked looking at the cards with me. In the description below, I have put in the link to all of the different decks that I just showed you tonight. I hope you enjoy it, and you guys have a great rest of the day.